It's that time of the week again. Another player to add to Team USA for this year's Party Poker Mosconi Cup. As always, Jeremy Jones is with me, and very soon we'll be joined by the player who's joining his team. And Jeremy, a couple of weeks since we last spoke, you've had some training camps in that time, so just give us a bit of an update as to what's been going on.
Oh, I had actually 5 guys in the last couple of weeks, along with Joey Gray, of course, the assistant captain. We had Corey, Chris, Billy, Tyler, and then Skyler, actually, who's now resides in Texas, stepped in a couple different times for some training, a few different sessions. Everything went really well with all the guys. They responded well. I think they really liked what was going on. So, yeah, a real positive couple weeks.
You say they were responding well. Have you been in touch with them since they got back home as well to find out how they've been carrying on the things you've been giving them to work on?
Yeah. For the most part, I started to send some reminders, and then just, the guys have just kind of reminded me that everything's working well so far. We just had Tyler Starr actually just leave yesterday morning. He was the last one that was here. And of course, we have some more training come up in September and stuff, but so far the guys have really liked it. Chris Robinson left and played one heck of a match in a challenge match right after the training, so I was happy for that. Didn't mess him up. You know how sometimes when you get something new, you can get a little funny with it, but he really responded well. So everything's been good.
Now that you've seen all the players, are you pleased with where their game is at the moment? Is it giving you a headache? Is it making it difficult for you to figure out who's going to make this team?
Yeah, every day it seems like Joey and I discuss different things, different aspects. You might call it pros and cons, but it doesn't seem like there's many cons at all between the guys. So, yeah, come here, in the next few weeks to a month, it's going to be some tough decisions. Maybe not so tough today, obviously, and that'll be obvious here in a short period of time. But yeah, it's not going to be easy.
Yeah, I think you said it last week about Skyler. It was a wild card pick, but not that wild. And I guess what we're coming to today is probably along that. I'm sure the comments below us on the stream now are sort of guessing at who might be chosen. But before you tell us exactly who that is, just tell us why this player is such an important part of Team USA and what qualities they bring.
Well, besides, I think I mentioned this about a couple other players, but besides, being the greatest player on the planet the last 15 plus years, and a guy that I think is going to continue down that road. He stays in great shape. Probably the most mentally strong player I've ever witnessed in my life. Trains hard, plays hard, keeps the guys accountable without really saying anything, which is a blessing, I think. And just overall, I think any team in the world would want this guy leading them.
Well, I don't think this guy needs any introduction, although you gave him a very good one there. But just confirm it for us, JJ. Who is your next pick for Team USA?
Well, 5-time U.S. Open champion, Shane Van Boening, the South Dakota kid. He's number 3 on the list this year, but I think we all know he's number 1.
So Shane Van Boening joins Team USA for this year's Party Poker Mosconi Cup. Of course, he's an ever-present for Team USA. He has been since 2007. So Shane, I won't ask you how it feels because I guess I ask you that every year. But is it a bit more exciting for you now that you're joining a winning Team USA each year?
Yeah, I mean, the last 2 years we did pretty well. So I'm very, proud of my team the last couple of years. And, I'm looking forward for number 3.
Of course, you won the title in London 2 years ago and then defended it on Thanksgiving in Las Vegas. Just how was that experience?
That experience is probably the best Mosconi Cup I've ever played with my team in the last 13 years. And, we had a great team chemistry. The coaches did a good job. And, it worked out pretty good.
You said you're looking forward to number 3 this year. Is that one of the differences now with Team USA, the confidence that you guys have got that you will come to London and win the Cup this year?
Well, I mean, we're going to try to get number 3, and the outcome is going to be different this year because, whether we're going to play without the fans or with the fans, it might be a different atmosphere this year. So I think, if we're going to play without the fan, it's going to be a lot different in pressure-wise. With the fan, I'm hoping, the fan's going to be there this year.
Last year, you built a little bit of a rivalry with Joshua Filler. Are you ready this year to prove that Shane Van Boening is still the king?
Josh Filler is, a different animal, as I can say. He's a very talented pool player and, probably one of the toughest pool players I've ever played. So I'm hoping I get to play him again and maybe I'll have my revenge back.
We're hoping you get to play him as well, Shane. They're always great matchups when you're playing Europe's top guys. And of course, with Joshua Filler, Shane Van Boening, Fedor Gorst, and 2 players still to be... Sorry, with Joshua Filler, Jason Shaw, Fedor Gorst, and 2 players still to be added. It's going to be one of Europe's strongest teams ever, you feel. So do you think USA will have to be at their very best this year?
I mean, if we can do the same thing like we did in the last 2 years, there won't be any problems, They're going to have a hard time competing with us, for sure.
And a slight change to Team USA this year. Jeremy has come from being the vice captain to the captain. Of course, he's a Mosconi Cup champion, a US Open champion. I think you actually played a Mosconi Cup with him when you first played for Team USA. What's it like to have Jeremy in charge this year?
Jeremy's a good coach. He knows everything about the Mosconi Cup, and he's been with us the last couple of years. And I think he's going to be a good coach.
Of course, there's not been any big pool tournaments now for several months. How have you been coping, and what have you been doing?
Well, I'm trying to keep myself maintained. Working out in the gym. I got a pool table in my basement and been working on, a few shots here and there. And, I've been trying to keep myself busy and, hopefully things just start to change around and start, having more tournaments. And that's what I'm looking for and hoping for now.
And to bring you back into the conversation, Jeremy, you said some nice words about Shane before you gave us his name a moment ago, but just how important is Shane Van Boening to Team USA at the Mosconi Cup?
Well, he's huge, and like I said before, he kind of keeps everybody accountable without really having to say much. He's got a great connection with the guys. There's a huge respect factor there. And the thing about Shane, if the you don't really have B games, you know what I mean? So if the A+ game is there, we all know what's going to happen. If the A game is there, we most likely know what's going to happen. And if the A- game is there, it's going to take a damn good Josh Filler to beat him. So, just the whole package, I guess, is what it is with Shane.
And looking at the wider team, do you think it helps Shane a little bit now that there's not so much pressure on him, I guess, because also other players are contributing points, which maybe at a time wasn't the case. The fact that, you can rely on players like Skylar to go out and get points as well.
Yeah, and, I think I think one thing that Shane recognizes is he's around a group of very hungry guys, which kind of how he kind of displays what he does at tournaments. You know, he'll, goes to a tournament that he's won 6 or 8 times or 5 times, like the U.S. Open, and you can hear him in the background towards the end of the tournament where, who's hitting balls? Oh, it's Shane. Yeah, you know what I mean? So he kind of like lets guys know that's where it's at, that's where it should be. So, he's the last couple of years, Johan and I actually, kind of leaned on him as a silent coach at times and some opinions and whatnot. And I think he can get in the guys' ears sometimes. So, like I said before, he's along with a player, he's a lot more.
And Shane, it seems that there's a very good team spirit between you all as well. Now, do you enjoy playing on this Team USA with the likes of Skylar and Justin?
Yeah, I mean, Skylar's, a great player, 2-time MVP. And, he's shown some great shots in the last couple of years. And I'm pretty happy to play with him.
And Jeremy, of course, 2 more players still to add to this team. I guess that decision is going to get a little bit harder now for these next 2 picks.
Yeah, very hard. Minus the pandemic, Joey and I had talked about, we're very excited at the beginning of the year that, there was going to be some fun-filled drama when it came down to probably the last 2 picks of the team. And just because the tournaments, so many scheduled tournaments, so many ranking things that we're going to be able to look at, head-to-head play. And so we kind of gotten a little low about that because we had to go cut back on the numbers a little bit. And I think everybody understands that and why we did it and why we picked the people we did. I hope they do anyways. But now after the training, we're back to that fun-filled drama as far as trying to make some tough decisions in the next few weeks. But they're all in a good place, and I think they're going to get better and better. So I'm very excited for the month of September.
Well, Jeremy, tough decisions for you, but exciting ones for us to watch. Very interested to see who takes spot number 4 and 5. We'll hear that from you in the next few weeks. But for now, Shane Van Bonen and Jeremy Jams, thank you both very much for joining us. I'll be back next week with Alex Lally to find out another European player for the Pokemon Scotty Cup. But for now, goodbye.
Get it all, we gon' get it all. Got the vision in our scopes, gonna stumble, gonna fall. Can't give up is what we made for, try again and we gon' ball.